Yeah. Yeah, it just came up actually. So I'm I'm receiving a payment while being ill to like an income, um, and I have this sense like almost every moment I can be thrown out. I have been thrown out, and then there was a lawsuit, and I was back in, and like it seems like it's always this sword hanging above my head, and
Mm.
so and I've done the work on this many times, like okay, to kind of be okay with being thrown out again, and and every time I do it, it's like okay, I can deal with it, I can live with it, and then the next day or even a few hours later, when I think about it again, it's like oh, like I it's just so scary. It keeps coming back. Like it could be gone for a few days, and then it's back again. And it seems like no matter how many times I do the work on it, it keeps triggering
Mm.
me. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what would be the best sentence, but something like I don't ever want to lose my clarity again, or like once I have this, like, okay, I'm finally okay again, like I can relax, I can just let life come as it comes in regard to that situation. And
Mhm.
yeah, so, but if you have a sense that there would be a better sentence that you heard while I was talking about it, so I'm okay to go with that as well. But
Okay. Yeah. Um, it's really like two different layers of doing the work. One is doing the work on being thrown out, the fear of being thrown out, that you've done,
yeah,
um, and can always, like, I have sometimes worked the same stressful thought many times until it starts to get more and more clear for me. But so that's one option, and then the other is doing the work on the insight being lost, on the freedom being lost. I do the work, I gain some freedom, and then it's lost, and that's can be a frustrating experience as well. So we really have two ways we can go. We could go into being thrown out again and doing the work together on that one more time, or you can do the work on the 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 stress of doing the
yeah,
work on it and not having it stick, not having it the freedom stay.
yeah.
So what feels
I
closest to you?
Yeah, actually, at the moment, what feels closest is the being thrown out again. It's
Okay,
triggering
yeah,
again while talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. So,
So
yeah,
how would we phrase, what would be some different ways to phrase that has that sense of stress, of 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 being thrown out again? Yeah, I hear you. Yes. So yeah, what would be the sentence though? What is your stressful thought around that?
yeah, she will throw me out again, like this doctor. She will. Um,
Yeah. And when you say this, it means that you'll be thrown out from receiving payments for being when you're ill. Is that what you
yeah,
mean?
yeah. So
Okay,
she throws me out of this system of receiving um,
got it.
care, basically. Yeah. So.
Yes. Okay.
Um,
And so, let's just play for a few minutes about which stressful thought to work. And the fear is she will throw me out again. I think that's really clear. But let's just play a little bit more with it. Like what would that mean if she throws you out? Why is that scary? What else are you like?
Yeah.
What is connected to that?
Yeah, so I will be forced to work again,
Hmm.
and I don't feel ready to do that. Like I've been I've been working for such a long time actually to like kind of on survival mode that I was just working, like living to work basically. Like I had no energy left outside of work and all that. So
Yeah.
until I totally burned out. But it was really like going back to that place is really like it's not a life worth living, something like that, right?
Yeah.
To have to go back, to be forced to go back to that again because I don't have money otherwise to live from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this, I'm already seeing like some layers here because she will
Yeah.
throw me out again is one layer, and then I will be forced to work again, and then I don't feel ready to work again. Like these are different aspects of this. And always what I'm asking when I'm looking for the stressful thought to question is which one feels closest to what's really bothering me, to that emotion, to that stressful feeling.
Yeah, I think she will throw me out again is the most stressful.
Okay,
Wow.
great.
Yeah.
So let's do the work on it then. So she will throw you out again. Is it true?
Yes.
And can you absolutely know it's true? She will throw you out again.
No.
So how do you react? What happens when you think that she will throw you out again?
I get so tight in my chest, fearful. Um, I'm really afraid of her, like really afraid. Like even thinking about having to meet her again, and she will like. Um, well, of course, there's a whole story around it as well. But yeah, I see her as an enemy. Um, she's not there for me. She's really representing like this this idea that no caring for people, just like work as fast as possible, continue, go over your borders, doesn't matter, that kind of system. um, so she represents this whole system that I know that just doesn't work for me. um, I am like my mind's eye, I'm making myself small, like trying to protect me against like being hit, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, extremely uneasy, not at all in my power or in my like at home in myself.
And what are the images that are showing up for you, either from the past or the future, or both?
I see images of the past that I'm sitting in this waiting room and really nervous, and then going in and then seeing her sitting at her desk and having this like very strict look on her face, and she's always like kind of like she never really believes what I'm saying. It kind of like yeah. Also this thing about sharing what I'm doing, but it's never good enough. Like it's never like, for instance, doing the work every day doesn't count, like because it's not in the general. It's not generally accepted as a way to help yourself or even whatever alternative therapies doctors I've been visiting. It's all like like nothing, So so I also feel really angry actually, like because I cannot follow my own path. I have to it feels like she pushes me to do certain things that I don't feel work for me. Of course, that's all other beliefs.
So the thought is, she will throw me out again. Any other images that show up from the past or the future?
Yeah, she threw me out before, and when I was there, she said that she agreed with me, and she was going to leave me alone for a while, and just like it was good. It was that I would receive the payment still and whatever, and I could just say myself when I would be ready to go back to work or to start doing something in that direction. And then 4 days later, I received a letter that she threw me out, that I had to work again full time in 2 weeks, like just like that. So there's this, so there's this distrust towards her as well.
Yeah. You have the proof. It happened once, it can happen again.
Yeah.
So how are you with yourself in this time when she's not saying anything at the moment, but when you have the thought she will or she could throw me out again, what are you unable to do?
I'm unable to relax. I'm kind of looking for ways how to make me safe somehow. Like it's kind of this continuous, like, what can I do? What can I do? Like, and at the same time, having to put aside like what I want is basically is a kind of suppressing the parts that how I would like to do it, like really thinking in her, like how she sees things and she approaches things in my view. Yeah.
Do you see any images from your work when you think she will throw me out again? Does that show up for you? Like what it's like to be at work?
Could you repeat it?
Do you see any images of what it's like to be at work when you think she will throw me out again? Does anything like that come up for you?
I see myself struggling through the day, being really tired and not able to rest. I see myself having to do small talk with all kinds of people. I'm just really super tired, like the last thing I want to do. Uh, I see things like yeah, having to follow, in my opinion, stupid rules that don't serve me at all, that just take a lot of energy. And, I see myself traveling like endlessly every day. Yeah, getting up really early while being super tired, and then making smoothies and all that before work even, and then like this whole like ongoing thing, and like, what am I doing it for? Like something like that. Yeah, like this.
Yeah. And then how do you treat her in your mind when you think she will throw you out again?
I really distrust her. Yeah, that's a big one. I cannot really see any good in her. Like it's really hard.
Like you said, you see her as the enemy, right?
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, in a way, I despise her as well. Like there is this weird dynamic, like feeling really small, but also kind of feeling better than her. Like, like there's a part of me that wants to convince her that this is not the right way. But, yeah.
Yeah. And then where do you feel it in your body, if you do, when you think she will throw you out again, or your emotions? Where do you feel it? She will throw me out
Oh
again.
well, like right now, my whole body is trembling, basically. Like it's really like a lot of tension there. Yeah, everywhere. My torso, my arms, my legs. Yeah.
And I can't hear you quite too well.
Oh, sorry.
Can you
Yeah,
say that
it's
again?
like this trembling in my torso, in my upper arms and upper legs, mostly. So it's just shaking.
Yeah. So the physical effect of the thought is showing up, right? She will throw
Yeah.
me out again. It's like a
It feels a bit
fear.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a despising, almost a hatred, there's an anger, there's a fear, like a lot of stuff
Yeah,
mixing.
frustration, everything. Like it's this whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the effect of thinking the thought. Who would you be without the thought? If you can imagine yourself thinking of her, if you don't have the idea that she will throw you out again, who would you be just now?
Yeah. When I imagine like going into her room at an appointment, it's so much more. I'm so much more at ease. I can stay more connected to myself. Share share how I am, how I'm seeing things. More have a conversation, basically. Like a two-way interaction. Instead of sensing her attacking me and me having to defend myself, like yeah, more equal. Yeah, I don't have to see her as my enemy anymore. If she, like, without a thought, like, she will throw me out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How would the conversations go with her if you're not afraid that she will throw you out again?
Yeah, more peaceful. Like yeah, like I'm just sharing how things are going and what I think would help me to move towards a better place for me to do something else again. And I could hear her better, I think, because it's like this sword above my head is not there.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to listen when there's a sword above your head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's also hard to be relaxed. So
Very, yeah, yeah. So
just to
this is a
let you know, I
powerful
don't
thought.
see your video anymore. I don't know if you.
You don't see my video?
Yeah.
I think it's okay. Is anyone else seeing it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Okay.
why it's not showing up for you, but I
Okay.
see you and it's okay.
Okay. I still hear you, so that's fine.
Okay, great. So this is a really powerful thought, right? That she will throw me out again. As soon as that comes in, the sword comes on top of your head and you can't relax and you can't see her as anything but the enemy.
Yeah.
And without that thought, just the opposite, more able to relax and more able to see her as an equal, to have a normal conversation. So it's just fascinating to see how the idea of her, she will throw me out, really changes the experience, that idea.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
So, how could you turn the thought around? She will throw me out again. Is there any way that that could be turned around and then we can look at it?
Yeah. I will throw myself out again.
Okay, yeah. So, what could that mean in this case? How
Oh
could that be
yeah,
as
I've
much?
like in my mind I've thrown myself out so many times. Yeah.
Yeah. You see
Even
her,
before she
what?
threw me out and then again after she threw me out. Like
Oh my
it's like a
God.
million
Yeah.
times, I guess. Yeah.
That sword, it falls again and again and again, like in your
Yeah.
mind, right? So
Yeah.
it's the I will throw me out again could be causing as much or more of the stress than she will throw me out again.
Yeah, definitely.
The good thing is that part is more under your control. Maybe not 100% because we cannot control our thoughts, but it's it's just a little closer to home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely true. Yeah.
And on that note, is there any way that you could, if you're aware of it, that you could not throw yourself out again in your thinking, in your mind? Um,
Yeah, it would be easy to say like not go into the future, but I'm afraid that that's not really helpful.
Yeah, it may just happen, right?
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
But and there may not be a practical way with this, but I always like to ask because sometimes there is like a living turnaround or something that you can actually do that will help you
Well, I am
come
doing the
back.
work on it every time it comes up. So that's something I do, and then I can like take the pressure off,
Yeah.
and I can usually see more clearly again, and then it comes back again, but I do the work on it again, etc. So um, yeah, that's one thing. Also to maybe see that she did throw me out already, and it didn't work. I'm still in.
Yeah,
So,
good point, right? So she may throw me out again, but she may not keep me out.
so yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the thing.
Because what's the idea of this health benefit is if you really cannot work, that you're supported, right? So
Yeah,
she may try to bring you back to work, but even that is just a test to see if you really can handle it. If you
yeah,
can, great. But if you can't, what are the chances they will again give you the benefits?
yeah. It's likely. Yeah,
Yeah. Some people are on permanent disability because they just cannot work, right?
yeah,
So she
yeah,
may not be clear that you need that, but if you actually do need that, she probably will become clear at some point. Like, oh,
yeah.
this really doesn't work for her.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just afraid of the damage that may be done until that point. But yeah, it is true that at some point.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So, is there another turnaround? She will throw me out again.
Yeah, she will not throw me out again.
Mm-hmm. How could that be as true?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So this is not in the situation. I already did the work on this before I recognized. So there's one coming
Mm-hmm.
up that um, I saw. Um, Yeah, she threw me out, and I had a whole lawsuit around it, and she lost. So I don't know how eager she would be to throw me out again, and maybe
Good point.
I could lose again. I don't know.
Does she want to lose again? Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know. Like, um, she will not throw me out.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe because now I am doing some of the things that she wants me to do for a long time already.
Okay.
I'm not really happy with it, but I'm doing it. So yeah. Um,
Yeah. So she may see that, and it may be enough for her to say, okay, she's doing what I
yeah.
ask her to do, so I will not throw her out again. It's possible.
Mm.
Yeah. What else? How else is it possible that she will not throw you out again?
Yeah, like maybe in the end it's not really her business nor my business, right? It's just like what needs to happen in the bigger scheme, like on the bigger plan. I don't know what's supposed to happen, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, maybe it's not all her. Maybe it's just she's part of this, and um,
yeah, it makes it easier somehow to not make her like really responsible, that to kind of trust that what needs to happen happens, and so it makes her less the enemy somehow.
Yeah.
She's just the means.
Right.
If that's what needs to happen, I can feel more easy.
If it does happen that she throws you out again, because we don't know, how could it be okay? Even though it's not what you want, how could it be okay?
Well, last time it happened, I learned loads.
You learned loads, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got really confronted with huge fears and really worked on those. And it's very interesting in a way to work on them, to be confronted. Like, I don't easily work on them this deeply if I'm not confronted with it like this intensely. So
we put it off, right? If it's not confronting us, we just put
it's
it
really
off,
not
right?
so fun. And
Mm.
and this is really real. So I like I can imagine something, and it's still a bit different than actually being in the situation.
Yeah.
So
there's some situation, there's no way out other than in. And so it forces me in a way to do my work, to go inward and see what I can learn, because there's no other way. So,
yeah. And also I can see like how I had this idea of how things would go, and it went totally different. Like I had this whole disastrous scenario in my head, and
interesting.
and it didn't happen.
Right. So she may throw you out, and it might be something better than what you're thinking.
Yeah.
That's the
It
fear,
wasn't as
right?
awful as I thought.
Right. Because the mind imagines, it's designed to imagine the worst case scenario. So it imagines how bad it was last time, and maybe it will be even worse this time, and you can see the catastrophe that could happen there. And there may be some truth in it, but it may just be the mind doing the worst case scenario, and there might be a lot of better scenarios, outcomes that could happen if she threw you out again. In fact, let's just play with that. Like, what could be some other outcomes besides something terrible if she throws you out? She stops the money, says you have to go to work.
Yeah. I think there's too many beliefs around that still to to make any good outcome. It's like if I could find trust in that and be curious about what could open up, like something could open up, maybe, I don't know what, but just allowing something to unfold and kind of being, I can sense the excitement about the adventure in that, like, wow, there's really no other choice, like I just have to see what comes, and kind of being in this curiosity and this surrender and the excitement of it, like, I don't know, like
it could be a positive experience that way.
I remember that place as it can be really exciting, actually.
And do you have to go back to work if the money stops from the government?
I don't know. I might. I've considered like living on the street and then like maybe moving to a little bit a warmer place. But and then, you know, I don't know, but even that, like, there probably would be steps in between.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you have to work a job that you have to get up really early for and work really hard and travel a lot? Or is there something in between?
Yeah, maybe. Like, yeah, it's just possibly. Yeah, there could be possibilities that are
Because
there.
again, the mind goes all or nothing, right? It's like either I'm completely supported from the government, or I have to work like a crazy person, and neither one is working 100%, but
Yeah,
maybe it's not black or white.
yeah, yeah. I just don't see another solution in that yet at the moment.
Yeah.
But possibly there is. Yeah,
So that's just the possibility of it is enough. That I
yeah,
don't know, but if she throws me out, I might find a better job, something that's more suited to me, or something that works for me. Or I might find some part-time job that allows me to have some kind of balance with myself, or who knows? Or like you said, maybe I just go in a completely different place or a completely different situation. I mean, who knows? That's really where we have to leave it, because we don't know. But
yeah,
it might not be only the worst case scenario that you've
yeah,
experienced before.
yeah, yeah. That's true, and that's for me somehow what resonates more is the like just being in the unknown and letting it unfold, like this excitement there instead of
Mhm.
like I just think there's too many stories in me around like having to work again, like in whatever form at the moment that is just like
Mhm.
everything seems too much. Um, so it's hard to go into that. Um, um,
Well, and that's also an option. Like, if you never work again, there are many people in this world who never worked again. If you were like that, then is it possible that you would still be okay, right? Because the assumption is, I have to work in order to survive. And
yeah,
is it true? So that can be another thought to question.
yeah,
Okay, so thank you for your work and for exploring a little bit more. It's a process. It's a process.
yeah,
It's
it
just,
is.
yeah, one little bit at a time. And I love that you're doing the work regularly, because uh, each time it comes up, it can come in a slightly different format. You might see something slightly different. And over time, the mind gets clearer and clearer. That's my
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, I think it's, yeah, it has changed, even though it can still really trigger. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So
There's some thoughts I've worked on for 10, 15 years doing the work on, and they
really,
keep coming up. But what I noticed, the way they used to trigger me 10 or 15 years ago and the way they trigger me now is very different. Like, it was much more reactive, much more stressful at that time. And over time, it's become a little less, a little less, a little less.
yeah,
I'm not done. Those things can still get me, but it's it's less. So that
yeah,
is what I experience as progress.
yeah. That's good to hear. Yeah, so I'll just continue. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah.